all right. What is going on with y'all, good people? Welcome back into the Be More Show, where we gonna talk real quick about these instant thoughts about the Baltimore Ravens facing off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a game. Let's be honest. Let's jump right into it. A game that started slow. All right, I'm gonna start these fast because I don't want to be before y'all too long. I want to make these quick so y'all can get a quick reaction on this game. But I will say this game started slow, right? Especially for the Ravens. You down 10-0, looking like it could have been 14-0 at certain points. And I think if I'm not mistaken, I feel like the Ravens were down 10 twice. And if I am mistaken, it's because I'm missing out on that Marlon Humphrey pick in the red zone that kind of changed the dynamic of the game, because that was in the second quarter, and that was when the Ravens really started to turn it around a little bit. Now, the defense was not good throughout this game, right? Like, the defense was not even remotely good throughout this game. But I kind of, I said it before, I said it last week, and I feel the same way. And I think there's a whole nother discussion to be had about why the Ravens defense is not very good right now. But and more so it's in the pass game than it is the run game. And unfortunately, we're in a passing league. So it's going to be something that the Ravens are going to have to either figure out, or we're going to have to deal with it as fans for the rest of the year. So the biggest thing is, and I talked about this before in the last, I think, Instant Thoughts video I had, and also in the preview as well. The thing about the Ravens defense is they're not good, but they are opportunistic. And I'm going to stick to that. Because we saw it even in this game. Marlo had 2 picks. Nate Wiggins had a chance at 1 or 2 picks himself. So it's like, it's not, and they are aggressive to the ball. So it's not as if they're not playing aggressive. It's not as if they're not playing hard. They just don't look good. They look out of place. Coverages look blown. Coverages look busted. And sometimes especially even in this game, and it kind of is a little concerning for later on, throughout the year when you face better running backs. A team with a pretty good running defense couldn't do anything tonight, defensively. So overall, I felt like this defense looked terrible. And that's a whole overarching discussion to be had. I think that's a whole overarching discussion to be had about this defense. I think this defense has some question marks, and it begs the question, should the Ravens trade defensively? Because that's obviously where a lot of their problems, are right at this moment. So I think when you think about it, when you think about the fact that this defense just not playing very well, but this offense playing historically well right now, you kind of at a crossroads, especially coming into trade talks and stuff like that, which I definitely think we'll talk about a little bit more throughout the week. But I want to say this offense, and kind of like I just said, is playing at a historic level right now. Like, I know we got the 2019 season, which was a historically good offensive season for the Baltimore Ravens. And I want to believe last year? Yeah, last year was another one of those historical seasons where they were just really good. I don't know if it was quite at 2019's level, but it was still really good. It's still a really good season. So the 2 MVP seasons for Lamar were some of the best offensive seasons in total for the Baltimore Ravens, pretty much across their history. And the way this offense is playing, and I said it last week, I feel like I'll have to just continue to repeat it, because it's going to continue to stay a fact as long as they continue to do it. It feels like they don't get flustered, right? I feel like before, even a 10-point game, right? Even a 10-point deficit early on in the game, the Ravens would begin to press. They would begin to say, wait a minute, what we do? How do we, they begin to play hero ball a little bit. They begin to do some things where you're just like, what are y'all doing? But like, the thing about this team is they stay calm. And even through the running game not getting going, because let's be honest, I feel like it's almost a jinx at this point. If you throw up a graphic that Derrick Henry is below his season average, he is going to break off a run in the next 4 or 5 plays, probably in the next 2 plays, given, his track record. And it happened again in this game. It happened last week. It feels like, Derrick Henry, we talk about volume receivers. I think Bate could be one of those guys who's probably more of a volume receiver than he is always an impact receiver. Tonight, in the Bucks game, he was an impact receiver. But Derrick Henry is a volume running back, right? Derrick Henry, I feel like, is the definition of a volume running back. You know for a fact, play one, he can break it open. But you know he just gets better and better as the game goes along. You know, he's one of those, he's like a throwback running back. He's one of those guys you gonna give the ball to 20, 25 times a game and you're gonna be cool with it. And I don't even know if he got the ball that many times as far as rushing is concerned. I don't know if he got the ball that many times. Yeah, he got 15. So he got 15, you know, but I mean, he's one of those guys you can give the ball to 20 or so times. Um, you know, and that's the thing, man. And it just feels like the way Derrick Henry's playing, especially as the game progresses, the way Lamar Jackson's playing, to have another Jackson 5, to have what does he have, 5 in his career, and I think Mahomes has 6 in his career. So like them just being neck and neck at, just continue to show the greatness that they possess. And it's one of those situations where this offense is just playing at a level that I don't know if we really ever seen. This offense will, I think, far surpass 2019 if they continue to play at this level, and obviously last year as well. And kind of like we said, it's and you can give a little bit of credit to coaching here and say like at least John Harbaugh is keeping these guys composed. But I think some of it goes back to Lamar's a veteran again, a veteran at this point now, right? Derrick Henry's a veteran, right? Zay's not a rookie, right? So like a lot of that stuff helps too. Your offensive line is not necessarily, is more so like kind of veteran led with Ronnie Stanley and Tyler Linderbaum. I know Tyler Linderbaum's not like an old veteran, but he's not a rookie, right? He's been around, he's been there, he's done that. It's that type of situation, and I feel like this offense is just playing at incredible heights. And I've said it before. It's something I want to talk about a little bit more in another video, but I feel like this offense is almost borderline unstoppable. When you got Lamar Jackson's ability to beat you anyway, like everything they've thrown at him, he is beat. And especially this year, he's doing it all in one now, right? It's not just one narrative here and then he beats it. It's like every narrative that they want to take, right? Every narrative they want to take, they put it in a cup, and he throws it out. Like you know what I mean? And like this year has been more of that, right? It's been more of that where it's been a collective, we're gonna throw blitzes at you. We're gonna make you throw outside the numbers. We're gonna, disguise coverages. We're gonna take away your best guy. And it hasn't mattered, right? It hasn't mattered. That's a whole other discussion for a whole nother day. But I was really impressed in this game by, of course, Lamar, Derrick Henry, Rashad Bateman played well, Zay Flowers played well. Once again, shout out to Justice Hill. He wasn't great in the run game tonight, but he just, for a guy that I felt like I was a little surprised was even on the team at this point, just because I've never really felt like he brought anything special to the table. He has definitely proven me wrong this year in his appearances. Like, and it ain't even necessarily, I mean, he had 4 yards rushing in this game, and I'm still talking about how impressive he was. And that's because when you need a big first down, especially in the receiving game, Justice Hill has been that guy. And that's big, right? That, to have him come in, be unselfish, and always trying to make a play. Like, I think he knows, like, number one, he probably knows that he don't know how much longer he has in Baltimore, and I'm sure he wants to get a chance to play in a bigger role. But at the same time, he's got to be looking over his shoulder, waiting for Keaton Mitchell to come back, because Keaton Mitchell's got, game-breaking speed. So that when Keaton Mitchell comes back, Justice is going to take a back seat a little bit. And he's continuing to prove that, he has a lot of value, and whether it be for the Ravens or whether it be for another team, he will have a lot of value for whatever team he plays for. And I got to give a big shout out to him. I feel like Mark Andrews played well in this game as well. Like, you're talking about, you want to talk about an efficient offense. That's one of the things I feel like in 2019 we talked about a lot, is how efficient the offense was. It wasn't, there were big plays, here and there. But it didn't take a lot of completions or nothing like that. It was just, the Ravens were scoring on you, and that's how this offense feels. And Mark Andrews, he had 4 receptions, 2 of them went for TDs. So it's like, he's doing exactly what he has to do. I think because of that, this offense is getting better and better. Likely has proven you gotta guard him. Mark Andrews has always proven you gotta guard him. Bateman has proven you gotta guard him, right? Derrick Henry out of the backfield, you gotta guard him. Justice Hill out of the backfield, you gotta guard him, right? So even Nelson Agholor in those big possession, those big times in crucial possessions, he's proven you gotta guard him, and that's the thing, like. And we talked about this before, and I don't know if we felt like this iteration of the Ravens would show it, but it feels like everybody in this offense is starting to click. Bateman starting to click, Justice Hill starting to click, Mark Andrews starting to click, Likely starting to click, Agholor starting to click, Zay starting to click, right? Everybody is starting to find their way. And that's a big part about it. Cause I mean, Zay had like in a game where Zay had 1 catch, you would think like this team was dead in the water. You would think the Ravens had no offense to speak of. Zay's probably the number 1 guy right now. You would think that, there was nothing there. But when you add in catches by, and I'm talking about big catches, I'm talking about touchdown catches. I'm talking about long ball catches, big yards after the catches that Bateman had, and even Justice Hill and Mark Andrews, Nelson Agholor had 1 for 20. Like, when you have those catches, that's, that adds to this offense. But, just an impressive showing by the Ravens offensively. Defensively, I think there's a little more left to be desired. There's a little more left to talk about. And we gotta talk about it. Why is this defense so bad? I think we'll definitely talk about it in a future video, but it's got to be asked and it's got to be discussed, and I think it should be. But definitely an exciting game, definitely a fun game, definitely closer than it should have been. But like I said before, I feel like the defense will at some point get better. It's just right now they're just not it. And like I said, I think a pass rusher might benefit them a little bit just to take some pressure off of the secondary. But definitely hope you guys enjoyed the show. Give your instant thoughts down below as well. Let me know what you thought about the Ravens win versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where Lamar Jackson had that Jackson 5. We was feeling good, okay? There were certain points I was like, he might have like 4, but Lamar Jackson played well. This entire offense played well. And the defense, we gotta talk about that one. But definitely hope you guys enjoyed the show. Be sure to subscribe if you're on YouTube, and be sure to like the video as well. We'll see you guys on the next episode of the Be More